very closely. Meanwhile, the eruption of violence in Minneapolis, that's really where it started. And that kind of inspired one man to try and make a fundamental change in his own home state. Tyler Kistner is a Marine Special Ops veteran and Minnesota congressional candidate, and he joins me now. Tyler, great to see you. Has the violence spreading in our cities taken over as the primary issue of your campaign?
It's one of the primary issues. I mean, a lot of people, especially in the suburbs of my district, want to have that safety and security. But I mean, the main issue is the economy and making sure that we rebuild it back to the prosperity that we had back in January, just like this president helped build.
But, you know, it was Minneapolis where a lot of the violence began, or at least the impetus for some of the radicals out on the streets, the Antifa folks and so forth. What do you think of the Democrats' attempt to turn it around? It's clear that all of the violence took place in cities run by Democrats, but now the Democrats are saying it's President Trump's fault. Do you think the public's going to buy that?
Absolutely not. I mean, people remember as the riots were happening and the cities were burning, the Democrats were out there on the streets with them, supporting these movements and encouraging people to get out there. Now, when they see the polling going opposite against them, they're out there trying to say that this is Trump's fault. It's a common tactic, but what we need to do is not start blaming each other. We need to approach this with civility and have the conversation to address the issues to make sure we get this economy back up and keep our communities safe.
Now, you're running against a first-termer. Her name is Angie Craig. She claims to be a moderate. She's kind of running away from the progressive label. What do you say to voters about that self-description?
I mean, it's hard to say you're a moderate when you vote with your party 97% of the time, and then you go as far as to join this progressive, extreme socialist caucus instead of joining some sort of caucus that is more there to solve issues and work with both sides of the party.
Tyler, I want to borrow from your expertise as a military man. By the way, anybody who knows the Marine Corps, let alone the Special Forces, realize the important role that you played in our armed forces. And now there is this nasty story about President Trump allegedly disparaging wounded vets. The vice president talked about this story. Let me play a soundbite from that and get your reaction. Roll tape.
Any suggestion that this president doesn't love and respect men and women of our armed forces and their families is absurd on its face to me, because I have walked the grounds of Arlington National Cemetery side by side with President Donald Trump. I have gone to Dover Air Force Base and stood with him as he consoled grieving families.
Tyler, as a Marine vet, I'd like to hear your response.
No, as a veteran and a member who can speak confidently on this, I've served under two administrations, both the Obama and the Trump administration. I can tell you with experience that President Trump is the one who helped increase the funding for the military, helped give us the capabilities to stand up to China, Russia, and the likes to make sure we have a strong national security. And he also helped increase veteran affairs to make sure that we're taking care of our veterans after they serve. And under the Obama administration, we weren't getting that. Our budget was cut. We had limited resources to effectively carry out our job. And Veterans Affairs was the worst it had ever been. So, no, I stand with our president, everything he's continuing to do for our military day in and day out.
Tyler Kistner, great to see you, Tyler. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.